Okay, well, it's very strange. We don't have people chiming in by remote. Very unusual. There should be people calling in. But anyhow, with hybrid meetings, we meet whatever can. Some people show up in person, some people aren't show up remotely. So let's get underway. I'm going to do the share screen, and hopefully people will show up. Let's see here. Let's go to this. This is our meeting. We'll talk about the agenda. Let's start with the. We'll come back to this. So let's start with the pledge of allegiance. Anyone to lead us? Pledge of allegiance, the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
And I'd like to lead us in a little prayer.
Father, thank you for allowing us to meet together today and more in person as we go. Just guide us through this meeting, help us to not only help the club, but to serve your will in the process. Bless us as we go through this. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Okay, let's start with some introductions because we have some visitors. Get back here to who's actually called in remotely. Let's see. Let's start with Norman Jones, the president.
Well, my name is Roberto. I'm the immediate past district governor, District 4340, which is the central part of Chile. I live in Santiago. I'm an engineer, been in Rotary for almost 30 years. And I'm a multiple donor of the foundation.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Roberto. I'm David. I've been a Rotarian here for almost 30 years as well. And I'm a scientist at Cancer Research Center.
I'm Susan Wendell, assistant governor, and I'm retired.
I'm Remington McDermott. I am currently the treasurer of this club. I'm insurance agent with Texas Farm Bureau. Been here for, it's coming on 2 years, 3 years, 2 years. I don't know, something like that. It's been a whirlwind this year, and I don't know what's going on. So just had a little boy in April and big projects before that. So.
I'm Julia Parker. This is my actual first ever meeting with Rotary Club. And I'm with Momentum Solar, so I'm sales rep for solar systems. And I'm also have a side hustle entrepreneur where I'm developing a tech product for the horse industry. Basically makes smart tack for horses.
I'm Jody Thompson. I too am retired. I've been with the club, been a Rotarian, how long, 2 months?
Mm-hmm. Very valuable.
Hello, I'm Janet Jones. I'm a retired registered nurse. I worked 30 years in the United States. Well, I was a United States Public Health Service officer and worked at the NIH, National Institute of Health, for those 30. And I'm now retired and became a Rotarian. So I joined the club.
Okay.
Oh, hi there. I'm Montgomery Fisher. Recently moved from Los Angeles, California.
Awesome.
Freelance filmmaker, cinematographer. And I joined the Rotary Club next to my lovely neighbor Norman. And happy to be a part of the club.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. These are some of the topics we're talking about. Thanks for coming up. Very unusual not to have remote people, but this technology stuff is good news and bad news. Normally we have like a half a dozen people showing up, and I'm not quite sure why we don't have other people, but we'll press on as best we can. We're actually doing pretty good. We actually got an award for increased attendance. And if we can trick other people into coming and contributing, take it on a random. What you do is in Rotary, there's a live for every pot.
There you go.
There's something to be done. You find out what people are good at. Like Joni is a godsend to this thing because of her knowledge of BBQ Showdown. So what Rotary is about, it serves both self, but fear what floats your boat. Yes, for you. So anyhow, this is subjects, pledges, prayer, club assembly, and basically club assembly. For those, basically we have a meeting schedule. If you go to our website, you'll find a thing which gives summarize the programs. But our focus of our program, just so you know, is they're trying to focus on programs of local relevance. You know, we've had the mayor, we've had the police chief. We try and have programs of interest. So we have programs of local interest is a major focus, opposed to exotic, far away type stuff. So we've had some significant programs, and we record most of our programs for posterity. So you can attend our meetings in person, here, you can attend or wherever we ultimately have to extend by Zoom, or record them, just like we record this. So we'll record the presentation, post to the website. So we're trying to do the best we can under the circumstances. Anyhow, so this is some of the subjects we'll talk about. We'll talk about restaurants for meetings, Rise Against Hunger Project, Patriotic Festival, Football Festival, and Bastrop Rotary scholarships, and end up with the OA test. So here is one of the subjects. This is Rise Against Hunger Project. I don't know if you saw the sign put up out there. Kind of a big deal. They had one of these at the Council of Clubs up at the Kalahari Park. And they had a whole task of people involved. It could be very labor intensive. The idea is to pack up 10,000 meals in 5 hours. And as they say, they're not meals you'd like. They last for years, and it's a difference of life and death. So we're the host club for it. And we've arranged those facilities. We'd like people to show up. But it's actually the organizer is our lieutenant governor of the district. So we have like 10 clubs under his fiefdom, Larry Jackson. So that'll be Saturday, June the 5th, and it'll be back there. So what we want to do is we'd like to have good representation, but it should be an opportunity for other clubs to learn about our club. Of course, it's going to be here. Of course, we'll toot our horn a little bit, but it should be a good thing. But it's, yes.
And it's wise to sign up. Just
Yes,
go
there is
to
a sign.
Rise Against Hunger.
You should all have all you members. We'll talk more about exactly how you become a member. Very painless.
Right.
No secret handshake and all that good stuff.
And what are the hours?
The hours are 9. Oh, goody.
Hey.
His lordship. I'd like to introduce you. We have a couple new people here, Adam. Just quickly introduce who you are.
Oh, hey, Adam Strasnicki, ex-president-elect, and Edward Jones guy here in town, actually across town. So, yeah, good to be here.
Good. So anyhow, please do try and show up for that thing. It's going to be very labor intensive, but it's going to be.
fun.
It's 9. You should have got all the members. You should have gotten an invite. And you sign up. You know, you can sign up for various sessions. Like setup is like 9 to 10, and session number 1 for all these things. Just sort of sign up so they have some clues who's showing up there. Like Jan and I are just going to show up in the morning. We're going to leave on time. But that's, it's going to be a total of 5 hours. And the idea is to pack up 10,000 meals. And what they do is they're going to show up with box trucks with all the supplies. You get really swell hairnets. That's one of the bonuses. And gloves and hairnets, very stylish. You get to keep them too. Okay. Anything you like, very chic macho. But anyhow, please show up for that thing, as many people as can, because what they're doing is publicizing it throughout the district. So how many clubs are gonna show up remains to be seen, but we'll do the best we can. And then you saw the banner out there, so that's kind of the deal with that. Let's see, other subjects, some other topics. Possible location for meetings. Community gardens are working out great. But we're looking at, what we like the social aspect, the meal type thing. And it's possible that community gardens will have a meal option here. What we're looking at is, we had an ad hoc meeting recently, and Adams looked at some locations. One possible location is 602 Main. There are certain requirements for meetings. One is they should have a good space, a private, quiet space. Step one. Step two, they should have some provision for the technology like internet. Ideally, a screen like this is very convenient.
Oh, yeah.
That camera alone is $500. So there's something to be said for this. It should have provisions for ad hoc meals. One of the issues with Rotary is, oh, gee willikers, I had to pay for meals that I didn't show up, because not everyone shows up for everyone meals. And if you have a thing where the meals are included in your dues, some clubs do that. We did that. Then it gets into a financial issue. We don't want anyone not to become a Rotarian because it's too expensive. And if you have to pay $15 for a meal, you don't show up. So we're negotiating with Raymond and Adams looking for his places. Want a place where you can get a good meal, which is in a timely fashion, and you can pay for it as you go.
And it's downtown.
Downtown would be nice. It has to have parking. So anyhow, the jury's still out on this. Everyone has 2 cents on thoughts. But we actually had a get together at the thing that was the recent mixer, and our PR person actually showed up. But they want to do the in-person type stuff as well as this. We'll offer hybrid forever. For one thing, people from Chile could show up. I'm really interested in that subject, but I can't go. And to your point, you've traveled all over the country, all over the world with no jet lag. So against full offer, that seems to be the hybrid option seems to be the most common thing.
Yeah, there's a problem there.
What's that?
A classmate invited me to his comment. I said, okay, I'll be there. 2 a.m. till the time. I'm sitting with a year jacket.
Still better than travel. So anyhow, that's our thing, is to find out a good location for meetings. And oh, by the way, it should be free. Again, we're trying to keep Rotary affordable. And some restaurants, well, you have to pay, and that's the room, you have to buy so many meals and all that stuff. So that's a bit awkward. Again, we'd like to have it affordable. And so 602 Main is one option. Wherever we go, we like to keep Rotary affordable. Our club dues are only $5 a month. To become a Rotarian, just so you should have gotten your notice from our treasurer, but it's not very much. And so it's like
$59.
$59. That includes the optional foundation dues. So the total cost to become a Rotarian, if you do the minimum, it's like about $100 a year. And you get to now, when you get the notice, when you fill out your application, you'll see that there are quarterly dues from the treasurer, and so that's kind of the deal with that. So we'll give you the information on that. Our membership chairman is Joan, so she gets points. Talking about membership for a second, one of the things that Rotarians or church members or whatever is never do is invite a friend. So please invite a friend. If you believe in it, then show up. Because, particularly again, figure what floats your boat. Next subject, the Patriotic Festival. We've arranged, the Patriotic Festival is an opportunity for us to have a booth. So I signed this up. The way the Patriotic Festival is going to be at Fisherman's Park, it's an opportunity to talk about the good stuff we do. So what you do is for $100, you get a 10 by 10 space under a canopy. You don't bring your own canopy. You set up a table and chairs. You have to bring your table and chairs. You bring your brochures. It's an opportunity to talk about the good stuff our club does. It's an opportunity to talk about our thing. We have a banner, describing the club. We have flyers. It's a good chance to promote our thing. There's going to be a passel of people, and there's going to be fireworks and all that stuff. So it's sponsored by the Bastrop Chamber in the city of Bastrop. So
It's pretty cool.
it's a pretty cool event. So what we like to do is it's sort of a trade show event. So I already signed up for a table for us, a 10 by 10 table. A couple of sit there, take on all comers, say Rotary is great. Oh, by the way, we're doing this event on Labor Day. Oh, by the way, we do projects. One of the things we want to have there, a leap ahead, is we should have our first bike rack done by then.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that'd be a cool thing because leap ahead and do another project. Our club is to some extent about projects. So one of the things the city of Bastrop wanted was custom bike racks. We signed up out of our projects fund to make 6 custom bike racks. What they are doing is we're having it made by students for many reasons. A, students. 2, it's a good learning experience. And 3, one of the people doing the project is our scholarship winner. Alex Farrenthal will be here, except he's not in class. So he has to do as a student project. So the idea is, this is by the mayor of Bastrop. Came up with the concept of, the bridge over in Colorado, make it look like that. Awesome. So that'd be kind of cool project. So we want to have that as a prop. When you do, as I used to do trade shows, so me and my lovely assistant here. And what you want to do is have brochures and all the stuff that's well and good, which may have props. So that's kind of that. That's a patriotic festival. So think about signing up to help with that, sitting there and talking about the good stuff we do. And also marketing for this event and there.
And we don't have to sit there all day, really.
Someone has to sit there all day.
Yeah.
Well,
but we
basically,
can
you
sign
figure out the
brochures.
schedule. We're gonna pay, it's promotion for $100. And they provide, what they're doing is, talking to the chamber president, says that the concept of bringing your canopy is bad in several ways. One is canopies blow away. Looks like a hodgepodge. So what you're gonna do is they're gonna pay what our $100 pay for. It actually pays for less than our share. They're going to have like a 20-foot by 60-foot tent, professionally installed, and we'll get a spot under there. My business, I have one too, but that's another story. Because it's a promotional opportunity. So we just have to kind of sit there and take on all comers, or it starts in the morning and ends with the fireworks. You get a primo seat. So put that in your calendar, Patriotic Festival. See here. Bike rack project, I mentioned that briefly. I could put up the slides on that. We talked about this already. But the idea is to have one of those for the 4th of July. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that to city council with the first model. Whenever you make the first model of anything, you always say, well, that's great, except now we like something different. So the deal is they're going to cost us, to be honest, it's going to cost like $200 in material, less than $200 in material. So it's a matter of how much the students charge. Given that one of the students involved is a scholarship winner, so we kind of have a little bit of leverage over him. So what we're doing is we're getting probably 2 Texas State Technical College students. One is a first-year welder, which is Alex Farrenthal, and the other is a 3rd-year welding student. By the time you've been welding in school for 3 years, my God, you better be good for submarines. Man, we'll see how this all goes. Next thing, electronic payment system. You should have gotten notice from my treasurer over there.
Yeah, finally figured that out. Sorted out. When you got the email for the dues, there's a link you can click. I hadn't checked in a few days to see who all's paid over it, but by last count, 6 people have paid by it. And yeah, if we can get everybody to do it, so that way I don't have, checks to go drop off. Because let's face it, I'm working Elgin for the most part now, and it takes me a while to run by the partially to remember to run by the post office box, pick up the checks, to
But
go behind. But, yeah, option to do that now.
it works
So,
flawless.
yes, it works good. That's how I pay. I click the link, pays through PayPal. All day.
It's been a painful process, to be honest, to set it up. But
Well, once we got it figured out, it's pretty easy. It's just, I've never in my life done any of that. So it just kind of, the learning curve and time, yeah. But it's done. We're ready to go.
one of the more challenging jobs in a club is the treasurer. And one of the things is the schlepping around, because you have to send out dunning notices to the members, pay out, and then the member has to receive it. And then they have to remember to write out a check and mail it. The treasurer has to go to their, what one do is click and pay. And oh, by the way, you get free mileage. All charge cards we do, we're getting points for something.
And I'm the world's worst about sending reminders too, because I just send the bill and hey.
Well, so,
I'm not
anyway,
very good at babysitting, so.
basically, and we're not trying to harass people.
Oh, yeah,
for
but,
dues, when it's all said and done. We're in good shape on money, just like to have people engaged.
yeah, but. Yep, it's done. I need to catch up on QuickBooks, and then whoever we find this treasurer after me will be in.
That's supposed to be Tammy Johnson, who has her own set of issues, but that's not.
Say why, say why.
Well, Tammy Johnson was struck on, she's a general manager at Hampton. And just so, you know, she's slightly preoccupied because her daughter now has developed stage 4 cancer. So she somehow has put her daughter ahead of her club and her job. So anyhow, it's another
She's
challenge.
fighting for her life.
She's fighting
Yeah,
for
I
her
mean,
life. It's a challenge. So again, what we're trying to do is make the finances simple for both the treasurers and the members. So what you'll do is, the idea is, we're trying to get electronic payments for it. This is the current century right now, and snail mail is yesterday. So you click, pay, and done. We're trying to do the same thing when you go to the club website for registering for barbecue festival and everything else. Option A is to print, fill it out, and mail it to Joni. Joni has to get it out of her mailbox, and we'll all out the same nonsense, or click and pay. So we're trying to get into everything. And it costs us, a little bit for the club, but lost checks, failed spending checks is the pain. Next,
When you pay, this is purely optional, but when you pay online, if you were to do like $1.50 extra, that would cover the fees that PayPal charges us.
Oh,
I'm just gonna throw it out there.
you have that option.
Yeah, you have that option, not necessary, but you do have that option where if you do $1.50 extra, that should cover the fees that PayPal
Well,
charges.
here's another advantage. We'll follow through it. To talk about. Using the charge card is not spending money. Really, there's a psychological thing, and when people go in, if I give you $10 for something, I have to take $10 of my wallet to see I give you $10. In the psychology, if you do this, it's not spending money. To the same extent.
That was painful.
Not as painful, and you get the points. So we're trying to do is move into that as much as possible. The event will do the equivalent of Square. We cash and checks. We always take cash, we'll take checks, we'll take gold doubloons, anything. But fundamentally, plan A would be that.
We don't take the point.
No Bitcoin. Next thing is club shirts. You're the option of getting shirts in any style you like, long sleeve, short sleeve, whatever. What you have to do is you can A, go to an anonymous place in Omaha, or B, go to downtown Bastrop and say, like a shirt. They're approved vendor, so you go and you can get ordered up at Bastrop County if you want to put on your name, whatever you want. This is the branding shop in downtown Bastrop. Go down there, and you can get hats, you can get shirts, whatever it is. But it's nice to deal with local people. You can touch a shirt and say, I like this material, I don't like this material. The only thing you can't do is deviate from this. This is the official thing. You go down there, go to talk to the guy, very nice guy, And we'll be at Rotary Club of Bastrop. He owes it some file. And the church are like $25. We're gonna have custom,
What's the name of the place?
the branding shop, downtown Bastrop. It's worth a trip to go to. Yeah, basically, there's a donut place in front, but the branding shop's a good guy. And it's a local guy.
Okay.
Cupcake. A cupcake, not a donut.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. Now, there's something you said, 'cause Jen and I got these from the official vendor, but then there was a problem. And you have to get through to the guy, all the things. I have no problem with buying a stuff in all the time, but there's something to be said for talking to you. So, and then I like this blue, Susan likes pink, or whatever you want. And whatever you like, long sleeve, short sleeve, polo, it doesn't matter, as long as the Rotary Club is very anal. This is very official yellow, might not feel like an ordinary yellow to you, but it's a special Rotary gold. And the Rotary royal blue, everything else is one you hear that we're good. So anyhow, think about shirts. Let's see here.
Next one.
Okay, now the thing of some interest, we've actually got this is done already before the meeting started. This is an interesting challenge and opportunity. So we have the Lost Pines BBQ Showdown. Now, just so you know, the one that's kind of in charge of the race is Joni. She has the advantage of actually having done this. I've done a piece of this thing, but I've never actually done this thing. And now the other thing we have going for us is we have Maria, who is the International BBQ Cookoff Association. It's a big deal. It's going to be probably the only national level event, certainly within our club, within our district, certainly within Bastrop. There's lots of other things that occur. Once you get in the swing of this with this International BBQ Association, it's on their website right now. If you go to the National BBQ Association, you can see it's listed. BBQ Cookoff is crazy. I mean, they have a huge following. Like Maria does, and her husband do either judging or competition 40 weeks here. This is going to be a big deal. So this is a general flyer. So what we're going to do is going to mail this out. There's another version for cookers. Cookers, general people, the purpose of this flyer is to get people to show up. And then there's another version of flyer, which you can see some of the people have around. It's for cookers. Cookers care about things like, I can pop it up on the screen.
I have one of them.
Yeah, which is cookers care about 40 by 40 spaces and, when you show up for things. I'm going through all this stuff. We actually have a committee that goes into this thing. I just want everyone to be aware of what's going on. So this one here is made for cookers. So this is on, or will be on the IBCA website. So this is kind of goes into what cookers care about, because cookers have a circuit. Joni knows this better than I do. But they'll have a circuit that might be in Georgia, but 2 weeks beforehand, it might be in Louisiana, and they'll put Bastrop on the calendar. And they'll show up like that. And cookers are tough. I talked with Maria about rain days. She said, don't worry too much about it. Unless it's a hurricane.
That's it. I was telling you that. They don't care.
They don't care. They will show up.
They'll drive here and there. Cook trailer, they don't care.
They don't care. They will show up. We have the option of,
I've seen them sleeping in cars and kids, in their lawn chairs, you name it.
what we want to do is make it pleasant for people. What we do is we have Mayfest Park for 3 days. We have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we have the option of Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday. Let's say it's going to be terrible on Saturday or Friday, we shift it. We could even in Mayfest Park follow, and we could just sit and race it, don't worry about it. Just truck on, unless it's really a monsoon, in which case it shouldn't occur.
If it's a hurricane, then we can postpone it a couple of weeks.
The city of Bastrop is very interested in helping this thing succeed. Mayfest Park is a great place, 24 acres, great place, incredibly underutilized. So we're getting all of Mayfest Park for a grand total of $100 because we're a good organization. Now, we're paying for the show barn. We're paying $350 for that for a day and a half. But that's a good deal. The show barn, for anyone who's been to Mayfest Park, it's a great place to go to. Particularly you horse people.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
And then the rodeo arena.
Yeah, that's a big deal, because I've been, this is one, I come from Minnesota, so, you're looking at that just for a couple of days at, the Midwest Horse Fair up north, St. Paul, Minneapolis area. Yeah, that much per horse, per day, yeah, it's for 2 days. That's just one stall, and that as an event, as a vendor. But yeah, $350 for just a stall. So.
What we do is,
And you guys
this is
catch
where,
as fast as you could.
yeah, that's a good thing. Now, what we're doing is for that getting Mayfest Park, we're paying, that gets us to rodeo arena. That gets us to 21 acres. And I don't have it here, but they have the layout. Now, we're going to have a get together with the city fathers, the police and fire, and they're gonna have to approve all this stuff, like fire lanes and all that kind of stuff. So stand by for further information on that, but that's kind of a get together. And then, again, I don't know if I'll put it in the slide, but there's a layout for Mayfest Park. We'll have some military exhibits. The American Legion has given us their horseshoe pits. And we need someone to lead a horseshoe tournament. And Remington apparently knows about horseshoes because he knows close counts. Everything else is detail. Close only counts the horseshoes in hand. Anyhow, we're gonna need people to help with that thing. The other thing is, so the American Legion is offered, give us a horseshoe pits, and they have like 12 of them there. And they're, some of them are covered. So we're getting a hell of a facility there. It's a mindset. It's a great facility. And we're going to do this every year. The first year is going to be very painful. Absolutely painful, right?
Gonna be?
Well, it is painful. Currently. But once we get down to swing it thing, it'll be a good thing. And we'll just make permanent reservations now to the end of this. And so that'll be a good thing. Well, to your point, is our goal is, there's two purposes from our club standpoint. Is one, we'll make money, not for our club. Our club will make a bit of money on it, but the real thing is we're going to be relevant portion of our community. So the rodeo event will make, the barbecue Cookoff, there'll be like $200 fees for 3 meets, but we're going to do 80% payouts because, and we'll do nice trophies. So when it's all said and done, when the barbecue event itself, we'll probably make a little bit of money. Our real thing is the silent and hybrid live auction. So we're sending out letters. So it's the 3 chambers have done is giving us their mailing lists. We're going to send those out this week. We got the mailing labels. One of our things is to get the nonprofit rates for postage. So it'll be 18 cents instead of 55 cents. But again, that's another painful process. We'll check off that square. But again, we do have a budget for this thing, but let's shepherd our club funds. So we're going to have a mailing this week. And then if anyone's interested, we have a letter. I think I sent it to many of you what the letter looks like. Jan was off at the post office dealing with government bureaucrats. But,
It's just that there is no way, you have to get the stamps. You don't have to get that much commission. Oh, you have to have your, IEN or whatever. But they don't carry those stamps. They have to order them and then they have to get them in and you have to know how many you need. And, that's, so I'm hoping, they don't have them fast. But I'm hoping a big post office in Austin may have a little supply. And, we can get it quicker than having to wait a week or 2.
If they can't meter them for us,
no,
It is amazing how much it costs. It's $1,000 to $1,200 to get an application.
what would you get? Then you can get that.
And then you get that machine. But I mean,
No, I'm talking about the post office.
No, they don't. Now, we have, again, we're building plan A and plan B. Our next plan, we're getting together to make in January at 1:30. I don't want to hang around till 1:30. Now, one of the things we're going to talk about her is she has some things about how she has some software. Again, we have molds within the various services, like Megan Gandy is our main mold within the chamber. Susan was in charge of the chamber, but Bastrop Chamber, so we have molds, in various organizations. Wednesday, I'm going to go to Smithville Chamber, so I'll go to Lauren on this. But what we're going to do is 1:30. Now, plan B, I mentioned this to you, would be the chambers have a mass mailing. Question is going to almost, that's what we're going to ask her at 1:30.
oh, for whether we can use their mailing.
Yes, they have a mass mailing. Organizations that are sending out, and we're going to send out like many hundreds, probably 600. We're doing these, we're taking the mailing list, got them Smithville, Bastrop. Bastrop actually gave us a stack of mailing labels. And so we went through some of those, and the ones that got, there's a few members in Colorado and like problems that, but otherwise we'll come in with just from Bastrop, one of the 600 potential donors.
There may be duplicates, because Smithville is going to send theirs out in there.
Yes,
So they could be duplicates.
But Elgin has already given you the labels also,
but
Maybe
they've
it's
done,
only the
it gives a name. What we have to
and
do,
addresses.
yes,
and address, you have to type it in.
Right.
but what we're going to do
Oh,
is, to Janet's point, is people that are businesses and chambers are heavily into business. Like my business, another story, I'm a member of Smithville Baptist. And there's a lot of overlap. So what we do is we're going to take the backdrop, which gave us physical labels. And what we do there is we take the physical labels and we cross-check with this. And if business A is a member of Bastrop and Smithville,
Elgin, I can't use Smithville, because we don't know. who's-
well, we'll go get Smithville. Smithville's great. Hang on, those first. We're going to get the list of Smithville. And we don't want to send out, it's silly for one business to get 3 letters.
I thought Smithville was gonna mail them out.
They are.
To her point, is plan A and plan B. Smithville will actually mail out our flyers in black and white. Because I get their mailings and it's stuffed in with other stuff. It's a good thing. The price is right. It's free. Free is good. It'll be black and white, but it's going to be there. But the cost of mailing for these things, because we're getting these things printed up at a local print place, and it's cost us like 15 cents a piece in full color for these things, double sided. So it's a good deal. So that's a tremendous deal. And so anyhow, we can mail those things out. So that's another step. So we're going to need people who would like to stuff envelopes later on this week. There's a little bit of fine tuning for this thing. And the printer, which is Del Valley, has all this information. We just have to do this. And by the way, you have to sign the letter.
Okay.
But because it comes, you and I sign it. So we have to go fine tuning. And so later on this week.
What do we have to do to that one?
She wants this fellow, this, a little fine tuning. Maria called me. This was IAW. I thought everyone knew that in the court. Little details like that. So anyhow, that's a little thing with that. But so anyhow, we're looking for volunteers to help stuff envelopes. It's a matter of folding sheets of paper into thirds, 2 sheets of paper folded into thirds, put an envelope. And it's not even, no tongues involved. It's self-sealing envelopes. So if anyone thinks that's a fun thing, that's going to be later on this week. The printing will be done no later than Friday, probably done Friday. Yeah, and point there, that is. Yeah, basically because there's mailing service to do this, but then our services are free, to be honest. And if you'd like to make a difference, then this is a way. It's an actual service we need. So most likely, the venue for this will be our house. We'll assemble sometime Friday, and aim is to stuff envelopes, stick stamps on. What we're doing is is mailing labels, the classic, Avery labels. We get those from Bastrop, and they'll take care of 90% of the mailing items. Now, we want to overlay that, and you may have some additional also. Is there anyone who's donated to Men Who Cook who's not in their chamber list? Here's some big people that you think you missed. You want to hit up people who've donated before, probably going to donate again. So, anyhow, that will be a Friday activity. There'll be a stack of like 500 pieces of paper, 2 sheets of paper, fold them into trifolds. Now, they'll do it for $50, but we can do it for free, that's so be it. Stick envelopes, put it
It'll
on.
make us $50 to have somebody else do it.
Yes. That's right, they'll do it for $50. This,
Like all of them, $50.
yes,
You vote, is there a vote that they should do it? Do we need to take? a vote?
Here's my theory on some later. If you can pay someone else, especially well under $100, to do something it will take people several hours to do,
Is
you
it,
gotta start calculating your time.
is it a folding service or is it actually?
They fold it, stuff the envelopes,
No.
and all we have to do is.
now what we have to do is, here's the deal, I just know the lady. She do it after hours. It's a company.
Yeah, but
Now,
I
to your point, I like your point, I like subcontract.
was about to say, if we can pay somebody $50 to do the envelope stuff, all we have to do is slap a stamp on it, stick it in the mail.
She's gonna stuff them too?
Now, what this is a nice little lady who does it for her church. When I talked, I said, it's a matter of how long does it take to fold this in the third? And she said she'd do them all 600 for $50.
Well,
Yeah,
if we pay her an extra 25, will she stick it in envelopes?
I suspect very likely,
Okay, so if we pay $75,
we're done. I like your thinking.
All I have to do is.
I move that we pay $75
Okay.
to have her do that.
No, that, I like your plan.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
It's kind of like a nice way.
Well, let's get a confirmation
Yeah,
on
to
the
get
price.
confirmation on price.
I will do that today,
Yes,
because it's a good place. It's,
I'm available, please do.
yeah, it's,
basically, I like your thought. This came up today.
yeah.
I said, she's gonna print these things up, and they have lovely printers. But if we can say, she said she do them all, she fold them, because it's 2 sheets of paper folded.
Is it the same people that have the printer?
It's the same people, but now she's an employee.
Yeah, but that, I don't.
It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
For
that's
Remington spot,
a moot point. Ask her how much it would take her to, how much she charges to hold them up, stick them in the envelope. And there we go.
And I've got the labels on the envelope.
she got the labels on the
I'm,
envelope.
I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I'm working on that.
Yeah, if she'll do it, we can hand her the stuff and then all we have to do is stick a stamp on it and stick it in the mail.
I have a few more pages of envelope,
Yeah.
of stickers.
And what we do is for the return envelopes, because putting on labels, we could have done the Avery return, but that's a pain.
Yeah. See,
So right
see,
here, I have a color laser printer, super for whiz bang printer, and I put it in there and say print out for a couple of Bastrop County road, and then the address, and go, choom,
Yeah.
choom,
So,
choom,
yeah.
choom, choom. I print them out that quick.
Yeah, so yeah, if she'll.
I think that's a great
envelope,
plan.
see how much she'll charge, because
I'll
I
put that in.
almost guarantee you it's worth it.
Oh, yeah, I agree,
Okay.
completely, because there's too many aspects of this thing. We're just going crazy.
Might as well, yeah, you can sell it out.
I second the motion.
All right, fine.
I'm with those two.
This just occurred to me today, because we're looking forward to a painful session
Mhm.
of screwing around. Question is, how long does it take to put 6 or 7 or whatever it is, 100 sheets of long piece of paper out? It's not rocket science when you do it. 600.
Over $50 worth of time.
Clear. Okay, good enough. I think that's a great plan. Let's see what else.
Fellowship, guys.
Right, okay, so that's what 602 on Main, that's what 602 on Main is for. You can go there.
We can all get together Saturday morning too.
602 brewery or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that's what 602 is for. You can fellowship there and not have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do.
No, but to David's point, is Rotary is a good portion about fellowship
Absolutely.
and doing stuff. I love doing projects. And he said through that.
And I can get on board with the project,
But,
doing that together,
yes.
but that doesn't include stuffing envelopes, you know?
At some point, at some point, the term wears off.
Yeah.
No, that's a fine plan. Let's see here. Let's see, we're doing pretty good. Now, just so you know, there's an event committee, because a billion details this thing. We have another chart which is made up by Mike Goble and Susan D. German. And there's an event committee working on this thing right now. And there's a zillion details to this thing. And we're making progress, there's lots of stuff to do. And then there's specialists in various aspects. For example, there's beer and other stuff, which we'll talk about. But there's an event committee, and it was invited to join us. We meet frequently. We'll meet right after this. We just hang around, and like Joni or Susan, or whoever's around, or as Don David just hung around. He stuck his hand and volunteered. Volunteers is great. He
David
volunteered.
saved us last time.
He came up with two good things. He came up with beer, and he came with band options.
Right.
Two big deals, two very big deals.
Those are my expertise.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see, we have a Mayfest Park for the 3rd through the 5th.
I was about to say, we touched on those.
Yeah.
Can you be tough?
Let's see, we've done,
Where are
I'm
we,
just
Rich?
checking on, we're in good shape, trust me. We're just relax, we're in good shape. I'm just so that you know where we're at.
Yep.
Is we're registered with the city of Bastrop, big deal. Because they have a very stringent form you have to go through, you have to get approved by the fire marshal, police, the whole schmear. And when you deal with government entities, you have to follow the rules. If you don't like the rules, then we on you. So we're registered with them. We're registered with the International Barbecue Association, also a huge deal. Again, it's a fairly painful process, and then you have to do it just so. Like this form here was not done in 5 minutes. They have very strict rules of it's 40 by 40 foot spaces, and this is the rules. But here's what's nice in Cooker Association. Cookers are used to dealing with much worse venues than this. Like having a 40 foot by 40 foot space with lots of electricity and flush toilets and all that stuff is a big deal to them. And we're going to have a nice judging area, but coming up with this seems innocuous, but like the aid, the payout, and all that stuff. So the cooker's going to show up. We're going to give back 8% of what we take in, and they're going to get nice trophies. Now we're looking for bright ideas and trophies too. We're looking for trophies that people can get that can't get Walmart or Amazon. So what we're doing is another person who's here today. It's a local business, and he can do laser engraving. Did you bring in a cup?
No, I never got. It's not in the truck.
Okay, well, anyhow, but it's a local business. So one of the easy hits, see, computer numeric control machines are great. And so what he's going to do is we can make engraved cutting boards out of acrylic. And one of my nephews, a cooker thing, and he says acrylic is a very best, very sanitary, doesn't like germs, yada yada yada. And so what we're going to do is, well, we can probably get engraved cutting boards, like 8 by 10 cutting boards, for maybe $10 a piece. And they'll have our, it'll be a version of this. It'll have this logo on it. It'll have the IBCA, Rotary Club of Bastrop County, and it'll be a version of this, sort of, kind of. And so it'll be a custom thing you can't buy.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of nice thing. So if that anyone that shows up, if they're paying, if they sign up for meets and other things, you're going to pay $250 for enter. And if we can we want to have various categories of trophies. We want to have the grand prize trophy, and that's what we'd like to deal with the foundry in Bastrop. They're funny to deal with too. We need to interface with those guys a bit more. But we'd like to have the grand prize has to be something pretty spectacular. And then there's going to be the best brisket, the best chicken, and best ribs. They're significant things. And there's a whole bunch of other category gloves, like, so if you want to have something besides they're gonna get back, if we take in $10,000, we're envisioning 75, so 75 times $250, figure out how much that works out, so I can't do it in my head. But that's several dollars. So the teams that enter are gonna get back, at least 80% would get plus a trophy, which is why this is not a money-making deal. We'll make money on other things, but not cook-off. The purpose of cook-off is really to attract people to other stuff and to let people know that the growth of the Bastrop County exists. That's our problem, is Rotary's kind of covert. Covert's good as the CIA, not so very good if you're the service club. We've registered with the show barn, another big deal. That show barn is owned by another organization. The flyers are, except for a little small deal, that's kind of done. We have a solicitation letter, and it's basically, I can pop it up if anyone's interested. And I've sent this bird list to most people, said, please donate to our event. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to like half a dozen local causes. An example of a local cause could be Pastor Knowledge. I met with Sharon Murphy yesterday at the Children's Advocacy Center. One of the things for local causes is they have to justify what they do with the money. I strongly encourage anyone to take the pay class, because it's going to be a hybrid and silent auction, which can be much more lucrative and much less work than a traditional silent auction. Go to payb.io and take the class. You can raise more money and you don't take possession of nothing. So just so you know, the format of that is we'll start the silent auction, like on that Sunday, and it's precisely at 3 o'clock on that Saturday. And at 3:01, the hybrid auction starts. That's 1 hour. That's all. And you want to have 15 items on it, each of which should be worth a couple $1,000s. And what has to happen during that thing is you have to say that it's going to, for all these things, it's going to have to go to a list of causes, and they have to go justify. Like, for example, there's a fund in need, no long story. I got to go to Maria, you're going to have to make a 1.5 minute video. It could be your expertise. Doing a 1.5 minute elevator speech will get publicized in advance. Talking about, if you're an organization, you have to describe what you do and what you do with the money. They have 1.5 minutes to do it. That's it. And then they have to be prepared to stand on the stage when their thing is coming up, like when the fund need, another long story. They're going to say, if you donate to this, we're going to have the following. We do the following things, like Pastor Nava says, the assemby system for homeless high school students. And then Maria, we paid for a good portion of a building for this. So we're going to have a few of those things, but what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make it clear that's going to go towards specific stuff. So for example, they're going to have to be prepared to justify their thing. So that's what the solicit ledger goes into. It's going to go towards cost. The silent and hybrid auctions, I strongly encourage anyone to take that class, because we don't have to take what we're looking for is kind of stuff you can't buy at Walmart and Amazon. The best thing is unique goods and services. For example, one of the prizes would be this gentleman here. So if you're the winning bidder, you get the use of 6 hours of his time as a professional cinema photographer. You get the use of Spiderwood Studios for 6 hours, and you get use of an ATV with a viewing thing on the port, an operator, and a professional quality drone, all for 6 hours. And how much will that fetch? So that's liable to fetch. Now, in the case of businesses, this gentleman happens to have a business, so he's going to toot his horn a little bit before he's doing it when he's donating stuff. So that's, from a business standpoint, donating this thing is no brainer. I'm going to donate something. Again, I have a business. That's not my agenda here, but that's the agenda, is to have businesses donate. And so I strongly encourage you, get a good flavor. When you take that class, you actually participate in one of their events. It's a simulated event. They have an auctioneer doing here. We have an auctioneer, a local auctioneer, that will donate his services for free. So at the event, we're going to have people with paddles, and we're going to need volunteers to go and say, okay, he bid $2,000, he bid 25, and then we're gonna have the thing with the people bidding virtually too. Like, for example, if you want to bid for something very valuable and you happen to be Chile at that moment, you can bid from Chile for his services, you know, or whatever you want. So that's the beauty about these things. They give an example where for a zoo, they were $450,000 in the afternoon. So again, I'd encourage anyone to take that class.
I mean, you say it again, that they pay the IO, not IO, sign up for it.
You sign up for,
Sign up.
basically, it's kind of, basically, if you're gonna, I can pop up their website. They have two things. They have what they call demos. Demos is a misnomer, because the way the demos work is they give you an overview. It's 1 hour, it's all, and they have several sessions a week. I mean, you sign up, you're gonna be within typically 25 people. I've done it a couple times myself, and Janet's done it once. But if you go there, you're gonna get assigned 25 people who you'll never see again, which is the way the real world is. You sign up and they'll talk about this mechanics, how it works. And you actually participate in an auction where they're auctioning off stuff and you have an auction, all the auction stuff. So it's a kind of a fun thing. Like when I did it, I bid $2,000 on something and it's all funny money. So it's kind of a funny thing. If you like doing auction stuff with funny money, and it doesn't cost you anything. It gives you a very good handle. So I strongly, we need help. I mean, it's not, the auctioneer is going to do the work. But it's good for you to, first of all, we're looking at members as being promotional things for this. We're going to send out letters, but think about people who like to bid on this. And it's important to understand the process because we've never done it before. This whole thing is a series of we've never done it before. But in principle, it can be much less work. So please, anyone's doing this thing like taking Susan, for example, take that class sometime if you're otherwise bored. They have several sessions a week and just sign up for the class. So, and then what they do is they have seminars on how to do things to your point. This is a new normal. The new normal means that we're not going to do stuff in the same old way forever. So let's see, this is some stuff that's in process. An example of areas needing help. There's lots of things. Now, the leader of beer and dance. Would you care to summarize where we're at on beer?
Yeah, I talked to Tom Clayton, manager at Wright Distributing, and he's set us up before. We're gonna do other events, so we'll buy a variety of beer at cost. We'll be able to mark that up and sell it as long as we have this permit.
I was about to say, I know they like, distributors like to.
Yeah, and he'll probably throw in some other items and stuff for auction. And he usually does that.
What we have to do
We
is
might get some water from them as well.
probably get some water to protect the rain. You know, basically from their standpoint, it's an emotional thing. We're going to recognize, you know, we're going to recognize anyone who chips into this thing is going to recognize you chip in a lot, you get more recognition. The people are platinum level sponsors. We sort of arbitrarily, if you donate $2,000, you get a banner at Make This Park.
Well, we're probably get a little bit of extra beer than we anticipate, so we'll buy that.
Awesome. Now what has to happen is
If it's not,
we have to get a license now since we're a nonprofit and we're doing good stuff. We're still going to have to spend $250.
You'll make more.
Oh, yes, clearly.
That beer is, serving the beer is always a good thing.
So serving.
How much would y'all pay for?
Yeah.
I've paid anywhere from $3 to $5 per can. I mean, that'd be, they sell that all over the place.
Beer is profitable without being serious.
Yeah.
That makes
Four.
sense. 5, you're getting up there.
Yeah, 5 is a little much, but yeah, 4.
Here's the reason.
I'll buy it all day long.
Here's the reason. Yeah, right distributors, assuming they sell it at the price, it costs us 85 cents a can.
Yeah.
So then you have ice and
Price
whatever
is
else.
nothing, you probably get ice donated.
Right, that's,
Do you have people donating or volunteering to serve the beer?
Yeah, that's,
or how's that
we'll
work?
have to find servers.
we have to find.
Yeah,
what
we're
we do
also
is-
gonna have sodas.
The volunteers are going to people like doing that sort of.
No, no. Have we decided we're gonna, not have cash money at the beer counter? We're gonna have tickets?
I probably take it.
Tickets.
That's what we
Less
had
people,
talked
less
about.
people
Okay.
handling money.
Yeah, less people.
Having like one ticket,
One coupon per beer.
And you run into a change issue when you do like $4,
Right.
constantly moving one.
right,
And that's pain in the neck.
we could sell tickets and like $2 for 2 tickets for a Coke and 4 tickets for a beer. You know, sell the tickets $1 a piece for beer.
What we'd like to do is we're gonna charge for lots of stuff. And we don't want the number of people handling money, but we're gonna have the little square thing, there's the equivalent square thing, there's a thing which connects to a phone wireless.
Yeah.
And they just, all they have to do is hold their phone near it, and poof, they're done.
Well, but we'll have to have like a ticket booth or
Oh,
something.
yes, well, I think
A
there is
ticket
one there.
area.
If you haven't been to Mayfest Park, you're missing a trick. They actually have an honest to God, amounts to, they have a thing which has the ice stains. Okay, you've been in
The
Mayfest.
concession stand.
The concession stand. So the idea is we're gonna need, I mentioned lots of people, we're gonna need people who are comfortable with dealing with money. Now, we're gonna deal with charge cards. Again, what I'd like to do is I'd like 30 tickets at $1 a ticket. Now, beers can be, no, what you do is, I think a reasonable, it's $1 a ticket and a beer is 4 tickets and that's kind of stuff.
Right.
You don't give a ticket for $4. You're gonna expect,
Right.
right, so anyhow, we need a concession stand with someone selling tickets, you give up the tickets and they take care of all the money and you go say, okay, I want 2 beers.
Radios and everything, and everywhere.
So anyhow, we'll need cashiers and the people at the things, because we're gonna charge for the dance.
We're gonna charge for the dance, charge for spectators at the rodeo. And I'm not saying a huge amount, just like maybe $5 a person for the rodeo, for the spectators. Because my theory is,
Can you crowd control the rodeo area?
Yes.
That's so, I know out there, but, once you're in the Mayfest, yeah, a lot of times, something like that will charge entry into the area. You can go to the rodeo, you can go to the dance, you can go,
right,
you can do all that, and that might be easier than charging for the rodeo and
Well,
for the dance.
Right.
And,
you can do that with wristbands.
yeah, and so, you drive up to Mayfest, Rockdale Fair, for example. You don't go pay to go see the rodeo at Rockdale.
Uh-huh.
You pay $15 to get in. And then you can go to the rodeo, and then you can go to the dance, and then you can go to the carnival, and then you can
But
go
we
to
have,
this.
the problem we have with that is, how do you close it off so people,
And that's one, but it would be almost easier to do that than say, because if I've been out, I haven't really explored it, but you can see the rodeo arena from the road.
right,
So you can't really go, you can't watch the
Well, we're
rodeo,
gonna-
avert your eyes.
We went to
Yeah.
debate of this, what we did the tour
Mhm.
and access control to Mayfest Park. First of all, we wanted maximum people. One of our agenda items is to get the maximum amount of people. We're obviously gonna charge for the access sign off.
Yes.
What we want to do is, as it turns out, at Mayfest Park, access control, to Mayfest Park itself is almost impossible.
Yeah.
Right. But as a rodeo arena, I mean, you can stand outside and say, we're not gonna charge you $30 for $3, $5. We're not making this big. We're gonna have to skin anyone on this deal. What I'd like to do is for the junior rodeo, you can pay up to $5. For the dance, that has honest God fence. You can stand.
well, the rodeo arena has a fence.
That's right.
Yeah.
Rodeo has
And the
a fence,
dance
and it's a
does
gate. Yeah, so you can get in, you can stand outside.
Yeah.
But if you
And,
take,
yeah.
but
That's, I just want to, because you don't want to make it any more complicated than it has to be. So if there was a way you could just charge one price, one time, call it a day,
we looked at that,
and,
It's almost impossible.
Because we have negotiated with the church next to the American Legion there. We're gonna open the fence And we're gonna use our parking lot.
We'll have
So
people
they're
coming
coming
from,
From
The
all
beauty
directions.
about, the good news about Mayfest Park is it's great and it's very open.
Mhm.
To your thing, it's like Woodstock. It's very difficult to control access. So we want the maximum people to come and it's access to control, because we're gonna have it's 24 acres. It's open on all sides.
So, yeah, just, and my hesitation is, as rodeos go, a play day, a junior rodeo. I'm not sure the draw for even $5, that would almost be more like it'd be one thing if we were having a PRCA event, where you had cowboys that their names roping to charge to see it.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, and this is coming from somebody who grew up rodeo, and if you told me, hey, you're gonna pay $5 to go watch kids play,
oh,
yeah,
Well,
I just don't
we-
know that
Well,
basically, yeah,
we've decided that some time ago, charging to go to the event is impractical.
yeah, well, and,
To the main event.
see, yeah, and here's the dance, absolutely,
The
charge to
dance,
go,
absolutely.
absolutely. The rodeo use that more as a crowd, as
We
a
can do
loss leader to,
happy.
just, hey, let's come see this. Oh, by the way, we have a silent auction over here, go write your name down and spend money over here.
That's,
Just use it as a loss leader, we're gonna have entry
What
fees
we have
to
to
pay
figure out,
kids and
now
stuff
what
like
we're
that.
doing is, we have a person, Joni, is
Yeah.
a great person, so what she's doing is, did I mention we're big on people who know, been down this path before?
Yeah.
So she's interacting with the rodeo people, and we
Yeah,
have to figure out what it's gonna cost. To your point, Brendan, about loss leader.
Yeah.
We're not interested in making significant money.
well, and that's what I'm saying is, the rodeo, because since our money makers are gonna be the auction
Right,
and the dance.
right.
Those and the beer, so those are gonna, so the heck,
We'll
we're
make some
charging
kind of
for,
booth.
let's do the junior rodeo, let's have it, but that's just to get people there.
And I
Yeah,
appreciate your information. Like I said, I know nothing
Yeah,
about
yeah, but yeah,
You have to-
it would be one thing if we're having a PRCA event. But
Let's
we're
work.
not, it's fun, it's great, it's fun to watch, I'll go watch it because,
Is that what they have at homecoming?
yeah, or, open rodeo event where it's,
By the way,
where you have all the, where you have rough stop time events.
well, I'll tell you what,
All of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we'll do is, we have meetings on this thing, let's adjourn at this point.
Can I bring up a thing during that same?
We're gonna continue
weekend?
on.
But same weekend, there's a great big, they're expecting 600 people down at Richmond's Park with that badge,
Oh,
Yeah.
blue badge, motorcycles, all
Back to
these
blue.
guys.
Well, they can come watch junior rodeo and
That's
spend a
right.
bunch of money at the.
Well,
That's
let's, let's do this. What we do is we have a committee who does this, and we're gonna be meeting with Megan Candy at 1:30. So by definition, Joni and I, anyone wants to hang around till then, but let's go ahead with the 4-way test. The things we think, say, or do. Who'd like to lead us in this?
First,
Is it the truth?
Second.
is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships?
And fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Leave the 15 again.
Good.
Nice meeting.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time in Bastrop.
And Remington.
And,
I'm returning Santiago Sunday, but I'm starting my process of retirement. Probably I want to relocate.
She's a.
Yeah, so
In Texas?
yeah,
Been there.
I can't say she was.
Cattle breed magazine. So international.